I'm an immigrant. I came to this country less than 2 years ago, so my poetry has to deal with, obviously, the feelings of somebody who lives home and crosses the ocean for the first time in his life and takes a lot of impressions with him. This one is called It All Happened in a Minute. It all happened in a minute, where everything was drowning in the sun, in the stuttering light of a spring which had waited so long to begin. I was strolling on my own through the maze of my inexplicable self, like a king planning the crucial battle to regain the dignity of his land. Millions of men from the past were telling me not to give up looking for a rescuing prodigy into the guilty idiocy of mankind. I was a blind man being shown the epiphany of undeniable truth, the miracle of seasons forever still, the peace of souls purified for eternity. Still, the taste of perfection made me feel incomplete, too human for redemption, too divine to abandon my passion. Yes, I was lost and cold. Oh, how real, how close. And the second one was inspired by the person I love the most in my life. And after a while, I realized that it was also about the person that saved my life. What of the limitless plains and the ageless chains did I know before the delta of your veins opened me the seas wide of awareness? Nothing, because I had been trying in vain to feel sunsets on the outsides, while the joy of watching lays hidden in the insides. As well as a storm always comes that sweeps the corruption of habit away, you drown the snapping leviathan of gloom into the purging flow of your blood in bloom, and to light are given back my arcane centuries shadowed by the beastly bites of vanity. And what of sin, soul, sanity? How did I go about pain? What did I know about sorrow? Of all these locks entwined to hold my anguished knowledge together, the bonds are dissolved, a new enlightenment enshrined. Yet a gash in the heart of my guts stings as a wind unwinding in gusts. Of everlasting innermost desolations, I cherish the preparation for days of mirth to come, being down in recognition of my pure strain out of the shifting sands of survival and the cozy banks of denial. You is I endowed with new sight that clashes against the gates of grief, then flashes beyond the frames of fear onto the fields of past and future, where essence and form are welded in an unchanging present of wit, sense and feeling. You was me before I could see the difference between day and night, which is none in the wake of your light that reveals through mystery, heals through veiling wounds, so to regenerate the putrescent flesh of history. On the same path, the righteous and the wicked proceed, different in nature, still very much part of one breed, proof of the mingling designs of evil and good, which only one way can be worked through. That all is metaphor for all, but in you, at last, is salvation from the fall. This other one is called Every Man, and it was my attempt with playing with the rhyme. I see my questions lying in a dried up puddle by the dock, arranging the death by fate of my last few minutes of luck. I feel the seconds dying in the surgical tick of the clock, never too early nor late, when time's ripe for the final knock. I hear my sisters sighing and my brothers crunching the crutches of their uncertain healing under the gigantic spell harbored by blue for their grievance. I turned my eyes in a burning gaze to what turned into lies after no transient phase. Of bruises inside, I somehow handled the mending. In the cage of a rhyme, I slyly pretend understanding. But of fears and my feigned tears, I do master the equivalence, as among the two old roads, I can't tell any difference. The next one is the last about Revelations, is called The Five Senses. Limitation. I learned this word with its meaning when I found out my viewpoint was narrower than the sky. Contradiction. I once got tangled up in its weavings when I realized the truth untold is heavier than a lie. Frailty was the ever-sweet sour feeling of eventually grabbing defeat after reaching out to a victory passing by. Isolation and its outburst of a dry bleeding from the gaping cut of surprise at discovering loneliness is your only companion for life. Condemnation. My condition and the world with its meaning were utterly disclosed when I saw the Savior in another homebound Mexican wrecked after labor. WTC. When empires were falling down on the road, inside was crumbling down all the world. Deep in the stone-cold hearts of those gaping frozen by fiery clouds, damped by the uselessness of words, reeling numb through the city roar, and the frightening sun pulsing insensible, and the incredible town marching incredulous. The numberless caught by the unflappable terror, or witnessing history uncoiling in spirals and hellish eruptions of sickening powder. A bellowing tidal wave announces the upcoming age of divine pornography. Blasphemy sold as purifying redemption in the name of a creed that ignores comprehension. And the souls in emotion cannot help standing still, and the bodies in fear spin like bows in a wheel. Wrapped in the timeless presence of eternity, darkness and light seem no longer dividable, filtered in forebodings of colorless tyrants, merged in the flooding of the funereal island, and the scream of the fog in the eye of the dead, and the sins of us all crystallized in the blank. Time, brother to the pain of all loves gone. Time, brother to the pain of all loves gone, father to my shame of all lies told. Your light splinters into millions of blasts moving forward from the past, fast, roaming through the shade till its rays cast a blowing blessing for a soul regretting those kids yelling in the backyard. Time, directing the deeds of the doom-dying will, splitting the illusion of freedom and the spark of ego that brightens the centers of grief and struggles to keep some glorious belief. Why? Master of the colorless skies, where sound knows no expansion, nor the universe any dimension, and for which my yearning dies every day, every while, absorbed by the worms of useless inaction. Time, I wonder to which revelation you lead, O the good man's all and the mean heart's sold. I ask myself what compensation you keep for all lonely tears shed in the cold. And the last one is called Through Too Many Days of the Easy Summer. For too many days of the easy summer, my spirit has wandered across the winding ways of a wooden counter. All my demons perched along the amber sinews, leading to the rotten tomb of regrets cleft right in the well of my womb. So many summer days have passed away, buried under the brown fall of leaves of an autumn dusk, A storm suspended in the sleepy flow of a flask, with feathers and flakes piling up like a bulky burden on my bubble-packed heart. Across those muddy tides, my breath sailed out, back to the origins of a smile misunderstood and a whisper strangled in its cradle by the untied hands of a ruthless slayer. She, and my awareness that eyes will shut forever. Rules are a broken tongue in the language of love. Bruise is the spoken word that stands above and explains all the mutterings under starry nights, inhumed in the memory of my withering youth. I could only envision a cozy future back then. It's a stalemate of the present, now that I'm a man. Thank you very much for listening.